Jan, man. I want to have your babies.
No chance. You know which birthday this is, don't you? Yes, I've reached the age when I really shouldn't shout about my birthdays, but they still come along, and I still, in a way, I enjoy it. I always get a little bit moody in November, though. My mother was also born in November, and sadly died in more or less in November, 1st of November. I'm going to start with a sad poem, actually. I haven't read this for a long time, but to celebrate my mother's birthday, which was on the 3rd, I'm going to read the story of her life. It's called Staying Alive. When she was 35, my mother said, "I shall be dead when I am 43, like my mother before me." But when she was 45, with a new son on her knee, she was still alive. When she was 65, my mother had survived 4 births, a miscarriage, operable tumours, and the interminable boredom of middle age. She had marched with CND, learned ceramics and the internet, and she was still alive. When she was 69, my mother had kept alive 3 despairing daughters, a wandering son, tens of cats, scores of mice, wounded birds and rabbits, had nursed her 2 sisters to their cancerous deaths, and she was fine. When she was 75, living on cheese, scotch and cigarettes, not always in that order, a stroke convulsed my mother's brain. Forgetting her death wish, she struggled back again, walked, talked, bought junk on eBay, obsessively, still alive. When she was 79, the nurse said, "First ward on the right." Her pursed lips said it all, I thought. My mother will be fine. There are so many poor old women in here. The nurses patronise us. They call us dear. Last night I had to help that lady over there. I rang and rang, but no one came, and I am in such pain, such pain. No, I was wrong. She wasn't fine. When she was 80 and a day, I saw my mother's body laid in a dim chapel. Her face not peaceful, as they say, but empty, defeated, unrecognisable. "She is so beautiful," my father sobbed and howled like a stricken wolf every morning for a year, because he was still alive.
I have started this thing where in between each poem, instead of clapping, I go up and I kiss the poet. That's why Murray doesn't want to go on yet.
Be warned, Dad. Be warned. Here's a poem for Donal. I wrote this in response to somebody's prompt who said, write a poem about some part of your lover that he uses an awful lot. So I thought about it and I thought, I know, his jaw. And they said, the other thing is, you use the medical term for whatever part it is. So
That is such an anticlimax.
here is, I'm in love with your mandible, darling. I'm in love with your mandible, darling. It's the mandible of my ideal man. Masculinity sings from your symphysis as it has since the world began. Etched almost as deeply as Mitchum's, your mental protuberance, fair and square, and your incised fossa are only enhanced by your carefully managed facial hair. Trimmed neatly along each ramus and across your strong oblique line, your beard traces clearly your mental tubercle. Your powerful platysma is highly defined. I'm in love with your mandible, darling. The reason I love it is this. When we're face to face in a private place, I love when our mandibles kiss.
You dirty devil, you.
On the subject of getting older, I think I've read this here before, but I'm going to read it again. I get Saga magazine. In fact, I think I may have stopped it now. The last one I had this amazing advertisement in it which was headed, "Start living your tomorrow from today." And I thought, why? So this is what I wrote in response. Cross your closest friends from your Christmas list and write "dead" across their names. Begin ordering all your food online because you fear you may fall over if you go shopping on foot. If you go out, take a stick with you to trip up younger walkers. Ignore people if they speak quietly and tell them not to shout if they speak loudly. Get a state-of-the-art hearing aid. Don't wear it. Fit a stair lift and ride up and down just for fun. It's never been easier, says Saga magazine. Move closer to your doctor's surgery. Make a will and tell all your relatives not to expect an inheritance unless they visit you often with flowers and chocolates and white wine on your birthdays and the odd young male friend as well. Wear a support stocking and or a truss, whether you need it or not. Take a new driving test. Fail it by driving the wrong way on roundabouts. Remind any young people you meet that you've seen it all before. Get a cat and overfeed it. Bring radio shows to complain about decimalisation and the price of cat food. Write poems about getting old. I don't know how much time I've got.
Go on.
I'm going to read one.
You can repay me in kind.
I'm going to read one of my... I've learned a lot, in all the years I've lived, and I'm not telling you. You can look on Facebook if you like. On the calendar, it tells you. I don't know how they got it. This is something that I've learned, how to avoid having to get divorced. It's called How I Avoided Adding to Recent Divorce Statistics in Surrey. I've been a true and faithful wife to every husband that I've had. I've promised to devote my life through thick and thin, through good and bad, but only while this rule applies. What I decide shall be, shall be. And there, a problem lies. When Johnny led me up the aisle and with a manly, loving smile agreed that he would have and hold me, I loved him then. But they never told me I'd have to iron 8 shirts a week.
What?
And when I ventured, could we speak about this imposition on my valuable time, dear John insisted this was what he'd meant when opting for the sacrament.
What a bastard.
As a blunt instrument, the iron was great. John's status quickly changed. Too late. My second love was handsome Dave. Before we married, he would rave about the cute and charming way I spent our weekends. How I'd lay in bed, expecting cups of tea and tasty meals to come to me. When we'd passed our honeymoon, I found that Dave had changed his tune. Get up, he said, and get me bacon, eggs, and toast. Come on, you do have legs. I went downstairs and laid a tray. I brought Dave's last meal up that day. I even brought an appetizer, grapefruit, laced with fertilizer, sliced thinly, chopped and barbecued. He flushed quite neatly down the loop. My third attempt at wedded bliss began so well. We loved to kiss and cuddle at all times of day and let no chores get in our way. His name was Lee, a gorgeous man, but soon I noticed he began to nag me, to pick up my clothes where I had dropped them, held his nose and told me, "This house is disgusting. Don't you ever do the dusting?" I got a broom. I hit him hard. He's buried out there in the yard. An optimist, I tried and tried. Again I made a blushing bride, but number 4 is pushing daisies. Gardening, the man was crazy. And when it came to number 5, his weakness showed up on a drive. When I went through red traffic lights, he rudely said, "That wasn't right." While he checked underneath the bonnet, I found the accelerator, stepped on it, and drove him into paradise. I know it wasn't nice. So now I'm in an awful fix. I need to find mate number 6. I think perhaps a poet will be what I need. Or would I kill a man who sings and rhymes to me? But one proviso. He must be my greatest fan.
I love your stuff.
Well, he must see, he mustn't ever try to criticise my writing, or my sharp pen between his eyes will send him up to husband heaven. And then I'll have to look for number 7.
Did you get any birthday presents?
Yes,
It's behind you on the piano.
Yes, I'm going to show you a birthday present that I've had some time now. It was the first present that Donal ever gave me. It sort of set the tone for our relationship. We both love books. It was a book. It was the Kama Sutra. It was the pop-up Kama Sutra. I think it's a bit small to show you, but there's some quite interesting things going on in this, and perhaps you can't see them. But a lot happening in that, if you look. You gave me the Kama Sutra, the pop-up edition, with full chance for reader participation and plenty of tabs to pull. There are pictures of bendy brown beauties dressed in scanty but elegant clothes who show no resistance to smiling insistence by amorous Indian bows. You gave me the Kama Sutra pop-up version. It's so realistic. The men all have cute little lingams, and there's tabs so the reader can swing them. And the ladies are kissed, not a square inch is missed, from their yoni right down to their wiggly toes. You gave me the Kama Sutra, moving pictures to show what to do, and lots of advice how to make love feel nice. And you popped up like you always do.
What?
You gave me the Kama Sutra, and I know that we have a fine future. The practice of loving depends on the moving of all body parts, above all, the heart. And that's how I know that I suit you.